Hi guys, it's Arya. I have been living in Singapore for 1.5 years. I was originally come from China, and then I moved to Hong Kong and stayed there for 7 to 8 years. After that, I was relocated to Singapore. I thought there was nothing for me to adjust when I moved to Singapore, but today, at this moment, I particularly did summarize and I realized wait, like actually Singapore has changed a lot of my lifestyles. The first one is I browse LinkedIn a lot in Singapore uh, than in Hong Kong. So in Singapore, in the workplace, I think the worker culture is more pro-Western culture, and I know that a lot of people actually post stories on LinkedIn a lot. So after I moved to Singapore, I start to operate my LinkedIn more. Whenever there's something happen at work, I would post it or add people on LinkedIn. Whereas in Hong Kong, I think I used WeChat and WhatsApp a lot. And when you want to look for a new job opportunity, normally the people who you are familiar with can help you to achieve it faster. Whereas in Singapore, you can actually publish what you are doing and talk to people on LinkedIn. Yeah. The next one is I speak English more, way more than in Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, I spoke Chinese and Cantonese. And in some certain scenario, I would use English, but I would say it's not a lot. Whereas in Singapore, even though a lot of clients has some kind of Chinese background, for example, their parents or their grandparents came from China, so they can actually speak Chinese. But we are at work, definitely we will speak English. So, fun story. Before a meeting, we'll probably just send greetings like "What's the weather like?" blah blah in Chinese. And the next second, when the meeting starts, and we will all of a sudden switch to English, say, "Oh, now today, like let's discuss ABC." So I speak English way more than in Hong Kong. In daily life, I know that a lot of people still speak English because they are more comfortable, in speaking English. I know quite a lot of my colleagues and clients are actually worried about their kids not speaking Chinese. And whenever there's a holiday, they would send the kids to China to feel the culture and study the language there. The next one is I read a lot more in Singapore. That would thanks to Singapore's National Library. When I was in Hong Kong, there are actually public libraries and it's for free, but there aren't many helpful resources, especially for adults who work in tech industry. So I bought the WeChat book annual membership, like 微信读书年卡. But unfortunately, there aren't many English books. So whenever, if it's an English book, there will be Chinese version. So apart from the WeChat book, I also spent quite a lot of money on Amazon to buy the English books. Whereas in Singapore, the Singapore National Library cost they charge like 45-50 SGD per year for foreigners, but I think it's totally worth it because there are a lot of ebooks, audiobook, podcasts, and it's very convenient to borrow and return. So I end up use Kobo more. And I read a lot. The next one is I spend a lot of time at home at weekend if I am in Singapore. So because like when I was in Hong Kong, whenever there's a weekend, I tended to hang out with friends and my partner. We either went shopping or had food in restaurants or went to Shenzhen, etc. It was beautiful. and happy. But when I moved to Singapore, I don't have a car and it's hot outside. So if I don't go back to Hong Kong during the weekend, I tend to stay at home. And I mean, I'm kind of introvert anyways. And now at weekend, I felt quite like spending summer holiday when I was a kid. I would just read and writing. Now I'm making videos. I actually enjoy it, but I'll say that my way of spending weekend switched from go shopping outside, hang out with friends, and to stay at home and chill. The last one is I did a lot more volunteer activities. I think in Singapore, both companies and people pay a lot of attention to volunteer activities. My company has been organizing volunteer activities, and I personally have joined both the volunteer activities from the company and the government. What left me the deepest impression is that I joined a bird-watching volunteer event organized by Singapore Botanic Garden, and they would give us a training on how different kinds of bird by their appearance, their sound, etc. I think it was very funny because previously I didn't know. I mean, I didn't care about what kind of species they are, but now I would pay more attention to the nature, to the environment I live in. I think it's quite helpful. So overall, after living in Singapore for 1.5 years, actually I had a lot of change. I think in Hong Kong, the life tends to be more colorful, whereas in Singapore, life tends to be very simple and peaceful. Yeah, I like both actually. Thank you for your watching. I'll see you in the next video.